Okay. That is really awkward.
Now you have to talk about yourself.
Now you have to talk about yourself.
No, I'm good.
Well, that's the most honest plug we've had.
Yeah.
No thanks.
No thanks. Hold on. Well, I mean,
Too late. Already recorded.
do the opener.
Okay. Well, welcome to episode 65.
Okay.
Whoa.
65.
65.
Yep. Of the Whiskey and Whitetails podcast. You're listening to this on March 21st. And today we are joined by a special guest and Patreon member, Kyle
Yelton.
That's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
We have several
Hey,
Kyles.
I got the shirt on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We're badged up.
That's right, baby.
I just realized, like, in our circle of the friends we have like 6 Kyles.
I work with 3. I have Genuine Kyle, Kyle, and Swole Kyle.
Okay.
Because he works out a lot.
Hey, we had 2 Kyles at the hunt club.
He's Genuine Swole Kyle.
Genuine's-
You're 2 all together.
And we were all baptized with a Mountain Dew. So, yes, we're all the same.
Genuine Swole GSK.
Yeah.
And then my brother-in-law is Kyle. Lots of Kyles. Anyways.
You hit the gym pretty hard.
Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Why don't you tell them what you got in your hands there, man?
Yeah. So the game Kyle and I play together.
It's an expensive game. I'm glad I didn't get roped into that.
It's a very dangerous game.
It's at the point now that it's fun. There will come a day where it's like it hurts a little.
Well, I'm looking at the value of stuff you guys are sending each other. I'm like, I'd have to start sending you like kids or like body parts.
Yeah.
Well, again, like I'm fortunate. I get. I'll show the bourbon wall before we get off, but I'm fortunate that you get enough good stuff. You get enough stuff from the same people that kind of take care of you. So,
yep.
I mean, you pay retail, you don't pay markup stuff. So,
And which is
I
hard.
want you guys to try some.
He gets a little screwed on the deal because he gets everything for cheaper than I can get
it. And I'm trying to show you guys that Indiana has more to offer than basketball. We actually got some pretty good bourbon coming out of the state.
Yeah, you turned us on to the Indiana Rye from Hard Truth, and then and we've turned a bunch of people onto that. Then you can't get it here, but we've got a lot of people that really like that now.
And then the one I sent you is their newest one. It's the Sweet Rye.
Yeah, the Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye, which I'm excited to try that one.
If you, like I said, I know you like the OG one. That one, I was waiting. As you can see, it's Mash Bill 1. We were waiting for that to get released. That's why it kind of took so long to get this over to you. But once it got released, I got it over to you.
I like the shape of the bottle.
You said there was a 30 barrels in Bill 1.
Yep, that size, 30 barrels.
That's pretty cool. Batch number 1, Mash Bill 1. Yeah. All right. Let's start with. You want to start with this one?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Let's pop this thing. I really like this cork too.
It is. It's nifty. Ooh, good pop.
That was a good solid pop. Yeah, the cork looks like it was a nice cork, and then they just broke it in half, and that's what makes it look really cool.
Nice.
So Kyle is a hunter. He's into the whiskey. He's into the whitetails. He's into all the animals.
I am.
Can't see the beautiful mounts you have on the back there behind you.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Got an elk
and like I said, and I got the little guy, the little hog on the ground.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wanted to be, and I'm actually, like I said, sitting this on a gator head right now on a Jack Daniels barrel. So,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're having fun all the way around today.
We're all in the same spot.
Yeah, just keeping it all authentic, in your trophy room. I
Yeah.
got a bourbon wall in a trophy room.
That's how you know you're a man, I think.
Yeah. Fiance's got the rest of the house, which is totally fine by me. I just need 2 spots.
That's it. She move in there yet?
Mm-hmm.
You just had your bachelor party, right?
It's coming up. Coming in a month. Well, Bachelor Party 1.0, as I call it. It's coming up in a month, but we're going to go shoot some birds and drink some bourbon and taste some samples. And I see you guys got a little bit on the nose. What do you think?
Yeah, it smells really good.
Gus, I saw you take a little sip.
I already took a sip. I love it. So what's
That's really sweet.
in comparison to, like I said, we could have done them side by side, but in comparison to the other one, the original Hard Truth rye that I sent you guys, I like a lot. But this one kind of just took it up a whole another notch. It finishes real sweet.
Yeah, it does finish sweet. It doesn't drink like 115 either.
No.
Wow, that's really good. There's a ton of brown sugar. It says right there on the on the side of it.
Does it?
Yep.
Peppercorn.
It's got I hate saying it, but it's got a good hug too.
And you guys know, I mean, that's why when we first started doing our little exchange, the coolest thing about Indiana being the rye state is Hard Truth is one of the main distilleries that pushed that legislation downstate. So that it has to be aged for minimum 2 years in the state of Indiana.
Right.
In Indiana Rickhouse. So they were one of the big ones behind us. That's why not that they were like first to market with some of their stuff, but you know, like you could see this was batch 1 out of 30 barrels dumped on 10/14/21. We just waited to get it. And wait, as soon as I got it out to you guys. So it's just a cool story how like Indiana's trying to make, you know, compete with some of our surrounding states that, hey, look, you can have your bourbon. We're going to be in the rye state, which is, I don't know. If you're not a rye guy, you probably might not like it.
I love rye. We've discussed before how much our palates have changed over the years, but not even years, months. Past few months, our palates have changed a lot. But the rye, I like that. That's definitely somewhere. Are you close to them?
No, it's about a 4-hour drive, but I can get it about a 3.5-hour drive. I can get it pretty regularly up by me, and I actually have a wedding in July. My buddy's getting married in Brown County, so it's on my to-do list to stop there and pick some stuff up.
That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna add this to my list of places I want to go. Maybe that's something we can do when we come up there.
We can meet up, and they're like, from what I've been told, I've not been there, but the people behind it are pretty sportsmen. They got sporting like shooting spots, and it's pretty.
Oh, nice.
Almost like it's like a hunter's paradise that just happens to have a distillery on it.
Huh. My kind of place.
Yeah. That sounds like somewhere we definitely need to go.
Oh, heck yeah.
What birds are you going after?
We got a hunting club I belong to, and I got a bunch of pheasants they release out there. And so we're going to go spend the morning and try and shoot 100 birds. See if we can put 100 birds down. I mean, why not?
That'd be cool.
How many of you?
There's going to be like 8 to 10 of us.
Okay.
Split up in 2 groups. 4 guys with one guy, 4 guys with another. And then have like a little prime rib lunch. And then we're going to head to Journeyman afterwards and get a cocktail and do a distillery tour. And we're going to do like a little private tour and get to sample a couple barrels. And the owner of the distillery has some barrels that he's kind of set aside and handpicked over the years. So then we're going to have some bottles from one of those barrels, and it's going to be strictly for us and exclusive for us, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
So, yeah, man.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, that's
something different.
Yeah, I think it's my hat's doing something to my head. I think it's a big thing now. A lot of people are doing distillery tours for bachelor parties. My neighbor did it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 33. I'll be 34 at the end of the month. If you would have 10 years ago, I probably would have done something different. But now it's like, I just want to shoot guns and drink bourbon.
Yeah.
What else do you want to do?
At the same time, right? When it's safe.
Yeah. Only when Gus is throwing targets, right?
Yeah.
Am I throwing targets? What?
You're throwing targets while we drink and shoot them.
Okay. If I throw, you mean I'll sit in a skeet house or whatever you call it, and I'll hit the button.
Push it. Oh yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah, that works. Somebody's got to push it, you know.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So what's your favorite of these two? We need to get the other one out.
Ooh, well, the other one, like I said, is...
That's the one you said take a couple sips.
Yeah, and you said so it's made with 100% sweet corn, so it's definitely different.
Oof.
It's only 100 proof. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's I like it a lot, but I had to go through a bottle to really like it.
All right, let's see what this one sounds like. Ping. This one's a little overfilled. It smells way different than anything I've ever smelled before.
That's why I told you got to give it a couple sips. It's like I said, they had one bottle left, and that's the one I got for you. So I'm drinking the other one I sent you. They're single barrel. So I had you.
What was that face?
Down.
I don't know what that face was. It's interesting. That's what it is.
It's different.
It smells like Sharpie.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it was. I smelled it and I was like, I don't know if what I should say.
It smells like Sharpie to me.
Yeah. Exactly what it smells like.
Do you think it smells like that?
I I mean, I know what you're saying when you drink that. Yeah. Yeah.
I really like the smell of Sharpie, so I'm not mad at it.
No.
So tell me about this distillery, distilled in Newtown, Indiana.
Yeah, so it's, again, like an up-and-comer. They just started to make a name for themselves, and that was one that they did that was totally different than anything else that some other Indian distilleries have come out with. Like I said, the other one I sent you is that the single barrel one. It's got the white label on it.
He's trying to show you.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, I've got that one.
I sent you. Yeah, so that one too. Again, if you drank them side by side, you'd be like, "Oh, like this is totally different." But it's just, I think they're both great. And for like, it's a store pick one. And for the
nice,
if you want to have something where, that's one thing I do a lot. I know you guys do too. Is I'm a big store pick guy. Like even when I travel, I always walk in and buy store picks because you want to support the local shops and try to help them move some of their bottles.
If you buy something that's not a store pick, it's going to taste like, it's supposed to taste. Store picks usually taste a little different. And it's just something new to try.
That's why I like, having a selection of store picks and someone's like, I don't, that's okay. And I'm like, yeah, but you haven't had this one. It's not the same.
And so when you try that 100% sweet corn, it's just like when you got some people over who are bourbon guys, like you guys are, and you kind of pour them that, they're going to look at you and be like, dude, what is this? And you're like, just try it.
Just try it. All right, let me try it.
See if you like it. Well, your eyes didn't come out of your head, so that's a good sign.
I don't like that very much.
Would you say?
I don't like it very much.
No?
But I don't hate it.
I don't mind it. It's good.
You got to give it a couple sips before you...
Yeah. No, I'm not going to make a judgment yet. This is very interesting. I've never smelled bourbon that tasted like that.
Or
smells like that.
But what you get on the palate contradicts the nose entirely. It's usually the contrast between the two is not quite that stark.
Yeah.
But there's a finish on that reminds me of candied popcorn.
Candied popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn.
I mean, it is.
No. Like the popcorn that has like the colored sugar coating on it. You ever get like at the fair?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like the green and blue, and it's just sugar they add to it. You get that at the very end.
100% sweet corn.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, I get that some. It's funny because it doesn't taste like Sharpie, but as you smell, but now there's not as much Sharpie on it. Now that I've tasted it, it's kind of weird.
I'm trying to think what else that smell is associated with that's not a permanent marker.
Yeah, and that's why when I first told you, I'm like, there's one you're gonna get, just it's different. And people like, how do you describe it? I'm like, I don't know how to, because I've never tasted another bourbon kind of like it. I'm like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just have a couple drinks and see if you like it.
Yeah, I've definitely never tasted a bourbon like that. It's not bad. It's the second sip was better. Let me try a third.
There you go. See, now he's going to be like, in about an hour, he's like, hey man, this is my favorite one I've ever had. I need more.
Is it your favorite?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm saying you.
No.
Out of all I think I sent you the ones when I ranked them for you. Even it was funny because even that Kentucky Owl, that green label. There's some people that absolutely hated that Kentucky Owl.
Wasn't that weird? Because I watched a couple videos that came out about it, some of the bourbon people had done.
Gus, did you get some of that Kentucky Owl, that green label one?
Yeah.
Yep. It was on today's episode.
Like hate it. I hadn't seen it yet, but some people hate it. They're like, dude, I'm like, dude, I actually kind of liked it.
I liked it a lot.
I didn't have an opinion one way or another. Sometimes he gets an idea in his head and he's like, I intend to shit all over this bottle. Or like, he's like, everything I've read, what I know, I'm probably not going to like this. And then he was like, I like it.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a gimmick, but it was actually really good. Yeah. So you have this one, number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is quite a detailed little thing you guys have going on here.
Yeah. I try and break it down and say, hey, this is
That's a $170 bottle, Gus.
Which one?
Mm-hmm.
The one we just had.
This?
Yep.
Because it's sweet corn, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, they're both bottled and bond too.
I'm actually really starting to like the nose.
That's why.
Interesting.
And that's one thing about the old 55. That's one thing to do. I would say I would say at least 2/3, if not 75% of their stuff is all bottled and bond, which is cool. So when they make some different variations like that, like the one I sent you, the white label one next to it, again, bottle and bond right next to it. And when you try that one, you're going to go, whoa, like this came out of the same distillery. You're going to be like, yep. And it's just,
Well, now I feel like we.
So
have
here's
to
the
try
thing.
That
So
one too.
that smell that reminds me of a Sharpie is slowly going away. And I think as this gets emptier and it opens up some, this is gonna be a really good bottle.
Like I said, come back. That's why I told you, Matt, ahead of time. Like, give it at least your second or sip before you're like, all right, this is not.
Yeah, see, now I get a way different.
It's totally different.
It's like developing. I can taste and smell a lot of different things in it now. Yeah, for like an experience, that's
to mess with people.
That's an experience.
That's why, again, that's a bottle that like I'd pull out and be like, I have buddies that come in town. I'm like, here, try this, and they're like, what? 100% sweet corn. I'm like, just trust me, try it. Pour your couple fingers and just sip it. And by the end, they're like, dude, this isn't. What is this again? And that's when everybody grabs the bottle and they're like, wait, what is this? I'm like, yeah, man. Like,
it doesn't smell or taste like any bourbon I've ever had.
I would agree.
Yeah. I enjoy that.
I'm turning you on to sweet rye and sweet corn, man. That's my goal tonight.
The sweet rye.
Sweet rye.
I'm a huge fan. And it smells. It almost reminds me of like malt liquor, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a Mad Dog. I don't know what flavor Mad Dog, but I kind of get that on the sweet rye. Like now that I'm going back to it. Did you drink all yours?
Which?
The sweet rye?
Yeah.
Smell the glass.
No. This. Not the sweet.
Oh, smell the glass of the rye. Smell any different?
Smells sweet.
Oh.
I get like brown. Like have you
Lots of
ever?
brown sugar on it.
Yeah. Also, like, have you ever cooked anything that required you to brown butter?
Oh yeah.
That's reminds me of that. You cook butter in a pan until it starts to brown.
Blackened,
sweet.
The blackened butter. Whoa.
I don't know about blackened.
No, it turns black. That's how you know it's done.
Now you can compare the 100%
we're
sweet corn to like this guy.
not gonna have a
Bottle
choice.
and bond, man.
Gonna have to try. What's going on with my hands?
Spent all day at a.
You can't see it, but I have a boo-boo on my finger.
What'd you do?
I bought. Remember the hatchet that I was really excited about?
Nice.
So I cut myself all the time, constantly. There's always Band-Aids out at my house. So I haven't touched that hatchet because I know that's coming. And so I took a nap Sunday and I was like, all right, let's just go ahead and get it over with. So I went out in the garage and I grabbed one of these, the picture frames. Mm-hmm. I grabbed one of those and I split it in half. Then I split those pieces in half. And then it got real small, so I didn't want my hand near it. So I held the bottom, swung, missed, slammed it right into my finger, cut a good 1.5 inches down into my, I'm looking at, has to be bone. And super glued it back together, and here we are.
About to say, if I was nearby, man, I got some Dermabond. I always carried Dermabond.
Yeah.
You know what I do for work. And I always carry Dermabond in my car or my backpack.
Is that better than super glue?
I mean, it's medical grade stuff, so yeah, maybe.
I have a bunch I can give you.
I would like some.
I bought some when I packed the med kit that we carried for the elk hunt.
Yeah,
I put some of that in there.
Yeah, I definitely need some.
I was gonna give it to you when you punctured your leg, but it stopped, so you didn't need it. But if there's like 5 things that Matt is really good at, cutting himself has got to be in like the top 5.
It's high. That's the reason my knife. I don't carry pointed knives anymore because I can't tell you how many times I've stabbed myself with the pointy end of a knife.
Well, I've watched you use sharp tools and instruments.
Yeah, I cut towards myself.
I would say like it's all your own fault.
It's 100% my fault. I'm overly cocky. I'm overly cocky and comfortable with weapons, and then because of that, I hurt myself.
I respect it.
Yeah,
I respect it.
That's the reason I quit doing butterfly knives. I almost cut my finger off as a kid with a butterfly knife, trying to spin it and shit. And I wrapped it around my pinky finger.
I'm sure your mom and dad were thrilled.
Did I tell you about the time that I stabbed myself? My parents never knew. I was playing.
That actually makes sense.
I would never tell them. I was sitting. I was young. I was a little kid, and I had my first pocket knife, and I was sitting in a chair. I guess I had watched James Bond or something.
Nice.
And this is it's not embarrassing. I don't care. I was sitting in a chair like this, like pretending that I was James Bond, and I'd pull the knife out and I'd stab the chair.
Yeah.
And so I end up crossing my leg,
Nice.
and I stabbed myself in the leg.
Yeah, you did.
And never told. And my dad used to always grab my knee like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like the 2 days later, it didn't bleed one drop of blood though, where I stabbed myself, which is interesting. But like 2 days later, we were sitting in the car, and he reached over and grabbed my leg, and I was wearing basketball shorts, and stuck his finger right in that hole. And I was like, "Don't tell him," because I don't want to get in trouble. But true story.
Yeah, the body does some weird things. Like you nick yourself and it'll bleed for days, and then you could get a giant gash and
There was not one drop of
nothing.
blood.
Yeah.
I don't know if I stabbed like fat or something. I don't know. No blood.
That's actually pretty. That's pretty interesting.
How did I not bleed? It's like up towards the kneecap.
Maybe you're superhuman.
That would explain some things.
It would.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hard to kill. I've realized.
Not for lack of trying. No, I'm kidding.
We were talking about. We had have we talked about this on the episode before? What I said about people. We were talking about.
We said it on on a podcast.
I know, but we didn't publish.
We haven't.
Anyway, we were talking about
didn't.
people attempting, like, just people that suck at life, and like this guy had tried to kill himself and then didn't. He was unsuccessful
like three or four times.
Yeah. And I said, I don't understand why it's so hard. People do it by accident all the time. Like they accidentally kill themselves all the time. I mean, like every day, right?
Yeah,
you see a lot of that
all
Kyle?
the time.
All the time. You get people that try and do, like, yeah. I mean, there's some trauma centers up by us, but you get people that'll like go off an overpass and like do some. You're just like, what do you like? I don't know, man. Yeah, and a guy like you, like, look at that. You're stabbing yourself in the leg and you don't even bleed.
Yeah, it didn't even bleed. Hard to kill. I get that. That's doing my tattoo on my back.
On your back.
Yeah.
Isn't there a Steven Seagal movie called Hard to Kill?
Is there?
Or Time to Kill? Maybe both. Probably both.
Time to Kill. Probably both.
Let's both seem like
he's probably got one in the make right now of Hard Time to Kill, and that's going to be
the sequel, the prequel of the
sequel.
Oh, did you?
Can you do a prequel when you're 30 years older?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you guys see
He plays his own dad.
Did you guys see the video clips of? There's this. Apparently, this guy is in the Russian army, or Russian special operations.
It
there's
looks like Steven
looks
Seagal.
exactly like Steven
Joe
Seagal.
Rogan posted it.
Oh, he
and then
did?
everybody was like, Joe Rogan's posting false information and all this
Of
stuff. And I'm
course.
like, it's clearly a joke.
Comedians can't even comedy anymore.
Have you seen it? It looks like Steven
not.
Seagal, and they like Steven Seagal left America and went to Russia and joined the Russian Rangers. It's just some dude that looks like
it's a total joke, but of course
it's a joke.
people
But
take everything. Yeah,
people can't joke anymore.
you can't.
All right, what's this next one smell like? Yeah, so this gets back into the corn dust and that bread top smell. The cardboard.
Cardboard.
But yeah, that's totally different. This is more like on the world of bourbon.
Makes me think of the white bags that we get from the general store in town by where we hunt, and we buy cob corn that comes in those white bags.
Yeah,
everyone leaves laying around. It's got a bunch of corn dust and stuff in it and dirt. And
is this 100% corn? It says 100% grain.
Yes, 100% grain.
But what grain?
I would hope so.
All corn.
I should have looked all that up before.
I just wonder if it's. I mean, I understand that it has to be 51% corn to be bourbon. I just wondered if they like grains, as in all. But is it a 2 grain, 3 grain, or if it just means it's 100%?
I said all the stuff I sent you last time was remember the 4 grains and this and that.
The Lee W. Sinclairs and everything.
Oh yeah, and then you had a 5 grain in there. Now they got some other ones coming out, so you'll be getting some of those when they come out, hit the market.
Yeah, that 5 grain's money. Have you had a Jimmy sweet corn yet? Red corn?
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna put that in the next bottle.
Oh, that's good.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's a good bottle.
It's a local distillery.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll add that to it. You screwing up my video?
Ooh.
Sorry.
All right, give us a taste.
And you got to compare it to the old 55 you just had. Totally different.
There's a ton of cinnamon to this. And I do get some of that popcorn, that candy popcorn.
Oh, there is cinnamon in there.
Yeah. It has a different kind of mouthfeel. I don't know what that is.
Interesting. These are all really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This one
I'm trying to send you some stuff that's good sippers. Like
you were
just
right
good,
though.
Like you can.
This one threw me for a loop at the first couple sips.
I got like, I've been in bourbon for a few years, but even like my dad's, but it's in his early 70s, been drinking bourbon and scotch forever. Poured him a glass of that and he went, "What the heck is this?" And I'm like, it's just one of those things that like you get people that, I know you guys do stuff with people locally. Pour them a glass of that, they're gonna look at you and be like, "What did you just give me?" Because it's just you can't place it with anything else. And at least it's nothing that I've had. But
it's kind of like it's for people that are big into bourbon and know all the bourbon flavors and are getting bored with it. Because like last night, I got Madeira drunk last night. I just wasn't interested in drink. I just didn't feel like drinking any whiskey.
So you drink Madeira?
Yeah, I drank Madeira until I went to bed. But stuff like this, having things like this would be more fun to drink. It's like, what do you recommend? It's like, what do you like? If you're like, I like all bourbons. Well, you're getting this.
Yeah.
yeah. I got one you haven't. Dude, that was like that Kentucky Owl. Again, like some people did not like that at all. And I'm like, I didn't think it was that bad.
What's funny is I was saying a lot of the videos that I saw on it, people were trashing it. And then we didn't. We were like, it's very good. But it's funny to read the comments on both. Like on our video, people were like, "I'm glad I bought this. It's really good," or "I like it," or "I'm excited to open it." And then on the other videos, people were like, "I'm glad I didn't buy this because it was clearly a gimmick and all this stuff."
Yeah.
And I think they're missing out.
I agree.
I think that was a really good bottle.
I see how it could come across as a gimmick.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because they chose to release it in conjunction with St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean,
Makes sense.
They're a business, right? Like call it a gimmick if you want, but I mean, that's called marketing.
Yeah.
That's, they have a job to do, which is to make money. And
I mean, when else would you release that? You're gonna release that on Valentine's Day?
You're going to go through a collaboration with an Irish.
Yeah. A bonder.
Bonder, and then
put it out on July 4th.
No.
Slap a green label on it and say, "Here you guys go." Like, come on. Like, as soon as I saw the green label, I'm like, "Oh, St. Patrick." That's where I went. St. Patrick's Day right away.
Yeah. It's good though. I enjoyed it a lot. I like all three of these. Which one is your favorite of the three?
I like that the sweet rye is really growing on me a lot.
Yeah.
That hard truth.
Yeah.
And then like, again, the 100% sweet corn, I just like it because it's different. It's unique and something that like when you have it, again, I told you from your first sip to your second sip, you went from, "I don't really like this," to "This isn't bad," to when you finish the glass, you're like, "Hey, all right. Yeah, I could actually, like you said, come back and drink that bottle in a week.
Yeah.
It'll taste totally different."
Well, I didn't. It's like the smell was freaking me out, to be honest. But like when you taste it, then the smell is like you don't get any of the smell in the mouth, and then it almost kind of complements it. And then the smell changes after you taste it. I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's a fun experience.
Yeah, man, we're all about the experiences.
Yeah, like now it's done, and I almost got like caramel corn on it.
Yeah, when I finished it, I was like, maybe I'll have another one.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, get a second glass, and then when you drink that second glass, you're like, "Hey, this actually isn't bad."
Yeah, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take you home tonight.
Take me home tonight.
Yeah, take the bottle home.
Well, not me. Jesus.
I don't want to take you home.
Yes, please.
Gross.
What's new coming on? Go ahead.
We gotta make you do the plug of the week.
Yeah.
These are really, really awkward. So now it's your turn.
Okay. That is really awkward.
Now you have to talk about yourself.
Now you have to talk about yourself.
No, I'm good.
Well, that's the most honest plug we've had. No thanks.
No thanks.
Yeah, I'm good.
Hard pass.
I text Matt at all hours of the day and night. We just kind of vibe on a lot of the same things, both how we look at and go about the way we live our lives to just friendship and the way we treat people we come in contact with. So I'm damn glad to know you and proud to support both of you guys. So that's my plug of the week. That everybody should be a Patreon member and support you guys.
Yeah, man. We appreciate that.
And that was off the cuff too.
Yeah, that wasn't even written down.
No.
Yep. Kyle is the embodiment of what Whiskey and Whitetails is about. Outdoorsman, whiskey,
Good person.
good folks,
Yeah.
good people. So
Takes care of people.
Yep.
Like you're always doing stuff for people, and it might be that service nature
I was
that
going to say
have.
you chose a career field in service. So
Yeah. I mean, like I said, medical sales by trade, and it's just, you gotta be wired a little different. And then obviously how we met was through social media. I mean, running a page that you got to kind of make up people's stories. It's like, hey, here's a deer, shot it on the 10th. Okay, cool. I'll just fill in the details. So,
Which is funny because we deal with people and get people all the time. And I'm reading your posts. I know that you're making that shit up. I know they're not giving you that much.
I screenshot it to you and I sent it to you. I was like, listen, this is what I got. And you just laugh. I'm like, yeah, man. And then I sent him like, oh my God, that's exactly how it happened. I'm like, oh, okay. Well,
yeah. He came out and then he didn't come out again. And then days later he came out. And I shot him. And then I had to run a blood trail. And then when I found him, I cried and I took a picture. And here we are. That's how it goes, right?
But that page is cool. I mean, Monster Whitetail, it's a fun page because you get to meet people and like it's a second job. I mean, you work 60, 70 hours a week in your real job, and that takes another, 10 plus hours because you're interacting with people all day.
Yep.
And the coolest thing, and the reason why I keep doing it, and I have my buddy Matt who lives up by me. He helps out too when I get overwhelmed with work, but the reason why I keep doing it is because, I'll get a mom or dad will shoot me a note. Hey, my son shot this deer. It's his birthday next week. Can you get it up for him? And I post it, and that little kid sends me a video message like, you just made, this is the coolest thing in the world. And so for that seconds, they feel like they're one of the guys on TV.
Yeah.
And so like people hit me up, and I mean, obviously, Matt, Gus, I don't talk to you as much, but Matt, like we become friends. We talk about all sorts of shit. Like, and you meet through that, and then you come to find out that whether you're in Indiana, whether you're on the East Coast, South, wherever, we're all kind of the same people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of neat because none of us really buy into this national rhetoric bullshit. We all just kind of like, hey man, like we talk about real shit.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, like you're talking about filling up your truck with diesel. And I'm like, oh man, that sucks. You know what I mean? And like, like we got this, and like, it's cool because when you get down to it, like we all put our pants on one leg at a time. I'm going to be the first one to admit I tried doing my pants 2 legs at one time, and I fell right on my face, and I was pissed because somebody told me I couldn't do it. And I'm like, no, I can do it. Watch this. Yeah, it didn't work. I jumped off the bed. It was funny, but
you should do like a backwards somersault and do it.
I know. I could, you thought you could do it, but then at the end of the day, like that page is fun because you get to make people feel like they're heroes. Like they're like a guy on like Realtree or Bone Collector, and then some of those guys reach out to me too. And like, you just get the chance to know them, and they're normal guys too. And you hear their story about how they got started. And a lot of it is hard work. Some of it, they were just right place, right time. And you're just like, oh, wow, okay. That makes sense, and it's cool. I mean, even hell, you guys, man, what you guys stand for. I know it's not easy. I mean, the amount of hours you guys put in, not only this, but creating the stuff that you guys are putting out, man, it's not easy. I mean, I got one of your grunt calls, dude. Everybody that sees like, what is that? I'm like, hey, like, oh, it's made out of a bourbon barrel. I'm like, well, of course a guy like you would have them. I'm like, yeah, you should have one too. Buy from these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I just tell them, I'm like, but like, that takes time,
Yeah.
And it's just, people see it. They're like, oh yeah, that's cool. But you don't see the hours that you guys put in behind the scenes to make shit work.
Yeah.
I mean, we tried coordinating this 2 or 3 times, and it just stars didn't line up, and so I appreciate what you guys do, man. Like I said, that's why I wore the shirt tonight, because I'm like happy to support you. We did that Patreon giveaway the other day. It was cool to meet some of the guys from across the landscape. Like one of the guys up in Chicago, I'm like, dude, I'm in Northwest Indiana. We're right by each other. Holy shit. Like I never would have known if it wasn't for you guys. Never would have probably crossed paths with them if it wasn't for you guys.
That's what
so
the
cool.
Patreon wanted to be. We wanted to create like a network of people that are all the same.
Yeah.
And that way, if we put up an event or go hunt somewhere, we'll have somebody there we can hang out with.
Yeah.
And just the same thing for y'all is if you end up going to PA or Maryland, like there's 3 or 4 guys right there in PA and Maryland.
Yeah.
There's Drew's in Georgia. I mean, people can come down. There's a bunch of guys. There's a guy in Utah.
Honestly, it would be super cool, and I think we both would like to see it get to this point where the Whiskey and Whitetail community grows to a point, whether it's within the Patreon or just organically across the board, where there's a network of us, like-minded people like us across.
Yeah.
And it's not just about us going and running into people in a different state, but like people coming back and saying, hey, I went to Indiana and met up with Kyle and we went on a hunt and we did this, and then someone else saying, yeah, I was in Texas and I met with so-and-so, and just seeing those kind of stories from a community that we helped start, and then it kind of, at a certain point, hopefully it organically starts to grow on its own, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
well, like Butch is going to your bachelor party.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, he's coming. He's coming down. We're doing just a hunt, me and him.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
we're gonna come down.
Not that you met us. We didn't. We all met in a group chat outside of Whiskey and Whitetails. But my point is, he's also a Patreon member too. So it's like,
oh yeah, he told me, like, we were on the giveaway thing. He's like, dude, he's texting me. He's like, I didn't realize. And it was just like, dude, we talk about stuff all the time. How do we not put you guys like, like the nucleus of like this whole thing, right? Like, that's why it's so cool. I mean, I talk about you guys all the time. I'm like, hey, check these. Like I said, you guys get me through my cardio every day. Put on YouTube. And I'm like, all right, man. Like, zone out and just listen and laugh. And some of your stories get hilarious, dude. I crack up and people look at me like I'm on a Stairmatch, like, what the hell's wrong with this dude? And I'm just up there laughing, listening to Matt, like, especially after he's had a couple and, maybe finishes a bottle or something. And it's like, oh boy.
Those are,
I get in trouble.
The good stories, the good stories, and the real funny, Matt, comes after the microphones are turned off.
Yeah.
Those are Patreon in-person events only.
Yeah. I'm one of the, it's like when you talk about people like, you'll never drink this guy under the table. Like, I don't think it's possible. Like, no one's ever outdrank me, but I like watching people try. And then the next day, Brian's puking and bleeding out of his nose and everything else.
Yeah.
All I know is the videos you were sending when you were like duck hunting or whatever, those were the funniest. I'm like, ooh, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yep.
Been there.
Out in the middle of the swamp, just puking everywhere.
Yeah.
Poor Brian.
We had some from the trip we took to Kentucky last year that would have been good videos, but that trip was supposed to be more focused towards Camp Hero and what he had going on, and
yeah.
Posting a bunch of that stuff was not on brand as one might say, but yeah, we tied one on after we drank that bottle of George T. Stag, right?
Yeah.
Or what was it? Stag.
It was George T. Stag.
And then the next day, both of us, he had to pull over twice so that I could puke and so that Rocco could puke.
That's freaking awesome.
That was not awesome.
So the question for you guys, because you guys put me on blast with like the talk about myself. So
all right.
What keeps you guys going? What keeps you guys creating? I mean, I know it gets hard. I mean, I know it's not easy for you guys. I mean, you guys get pulled. I mean, just in our conversations, like you've been pulled in 30,000 different, not only with your career, but like everything, right?
Yeah.
But like, what keeps you guys coming back every week, putting the stuff out there for us to like,
you want to go first? Excited? Want me to go first?
You go first.
I got two things that keep me going. One is that whether it's doing the podcast or some sort of content creation or it's making products, it is a way for me to get away a little bit from my day-to-day job. I love my family and my kids, but like I also like my space. So it's a way for me to sort of disconnect, and I put headphones in and just make stuff, or we come here and we create. The other thing is I do not want to work in technology or IT forever. Like we have plans and things with this company that could make this a full-time thing eventually. And that's what keeps the ability to do that and grow this to a business that could potentially provide generational wealth for my kids. It motivates the shit out of me.
That's awesome. It's cool to hear that, because that just shows you right there you're doing it for the right reasons.
I think what got me started was the like desire to create. I think that's kind of what started, because we had another company before this, and we just kind of seamlessly transitioned into this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just the desire to create and do stuff. I've always liked podcasts. I like talking.
Mm-hmm.
I've known him since we were in diapers. So us to sit around and talk to each other, it's kind of stupid not to record it, But I think what keeps me going, because there are days where I'll look at it. For instance, I started looking at stuff today, and just a couple different things, and I look at it and I'm like, I could, instead of me coming here tonight, I could go home and sit on the couch and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's days where, I got to edit a podcast on a Sunday while the wife is, to cookout or something, and I have to go do this. But I think what keeps me going is like the connection that I have with people when we meet up with people. Like I'm just looking forward to the next one. Like we have events coming and stuff that we do. And when we get there and we talk to people, we meet people, we have a distillery tour coming up. We're going to dinner with some of the people from Seaweed. Like I look forward to those moments when you get there and you start talking to people and you're like, look what we did together. Look what you did. Look what we did. And then together we made this thing. And I like that part of it. Like the finished product, the rewatching videos, I don't really do that. But like the creation of the content and putting it all together and looking at it and going, how crazy is that? Because there's many times that we'll just look at each other after an event and be like, dude, this is so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, like I don't like we make and we work on content, but like rewatching it, like I will the YouTube stuff just for views. I'll put it up and let it play. I don't pay much attention to it. No offense, but
I don't watch it.
I listen to the podcast as I edit it, the audio version, enough that I pay attention enough to pick up on stuff I need to edit.
Yeah.
But like I've had the conversation already. I don't want to listen to it again. And then,
I get you.
But like, you know, like you said, those moments when those kind of aha moments, or it's just like those validation moments where it's like, man, we're onto something. Like we're doing the right thing. We're building a community of great people. You know, we're
like the Discord. I don't have kids, and I honestly don't have. I keep my friend group very small intentionally. You know, like in real world, like in Charleston friend group is very small. I don't like. I'll go hang out with people, but I don't text them the next day like, hey, let's do stuff. So the Discord is really cool to me because I know I can hop in there pretty much anytime I want and talk to somebody that I like, and that's cool.
Big Drew, man. Big Drew was cracking me up when I was at Eric Church on Friday, man. Like following his chronologue of him just pounding, and then like the next day, I'm like, oh man, I've been there.
Yeah.
And you're like, how are you feeling? I'm like, dude, I've been in the field since 10 a.m. Like, I mean, and then Sunday I was out shooting and found my first shed in 3 years. Couldn't believe it. I'm like,
Did you?
Shit, look at that. It's a shed, yeah. 3-year curse.
I'm gonna buy some of those bladders you've got.
Oh yeah, those are the boot flasks.
Yeah, because I put actual flasks in my boots and they hurt.
No,
but that bladder was money.
And I mean, you know, people are telling, oh yeah, this is this, and I taste, and I'm like, I don't think that's what that is. It could be because it's 103 degrees in your boot, and I'm drinking warm bourbon, but like, you know, I'm not mad about it. But
does it taste like plastic?
No, no. I mean, it's just think about it, it's stuck in your boot next to your sock, and you're dancing at a concert. It's gonna get a little toasty.
Yeah.
And so when he's like, "Oh, this is whatever 18-year," I'm like, I've had that. That's not what this tastes like. But cheers, man. Because it's kind of boiling right now as I drink it. But I'm not.
This is the 18-year boot finished.
Yeah.
Special release.
Yeah.
Gross.
You got to get some of those, man. Those are
so nasty.
How was that you guys had that? Was it? What do you call it? Seaweed? I followed you the whole way there. Was sharing your stuff on Instagram. How was that whole event for you guys? Was it?
Jeez.
It was crazy. It was nuts. There was. I think to me the craziest part about it was how many people either knew who we were already, or just. I mean, they were just every. How many people do you think were there? 40,000.
Yeah, wow. It was a lot.
So there's people walking by constantly, and every 3 to 5 minutes you'd hear somebody just be like, "Whiskey Whitetails," you know, like everybody was just yelling it.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
Cool.
Seaweed, this year's Seaweed, being the first one, I think as we continue to build and grow this company, there's going to be milestones where you look back and go, man, that was a turning point, or at least a pivot point in our business.
Started to make it
in our business because of the people we met and the trajectory, the boost that it gave the company. And I think in a company you probably only have a handful of those that really happen, because I think they get harder and harder to obtain. But I think that was definitely our first big, like, holy shit, we're really onto something. We're doing something here.
Yeah,
it was fun. We were so busy with with the podcast interviews, and we weren't sure how that was going to go. Like, we just sort of like hoped we were going to get people, and if it got to the point where we were going to pull random people that were walking by to be on the podcast.
Yeah, we didn't think we were worried that we wouldn't be able to schedule people, and then we were worried about sound quality because the people walking by, we weren't really sure how they were going to sound. But it turns out they sound fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
not bad.
You can tell we're outside at an event with a crap load of people.
And we can fix that next year now that we know what to expect and what's available to us.
Yeah.
Positioning microphones would be
Differently,
a big move, yeah.
Maybe a different, I don't know, tent, a different type of tent. Maybe we bring our own. Just, hey, can you give us some real estate and we'll bring our own tent.
Yeah, because there's just stuff flapping around in the background. I don't know. It was okay. It was but
we were busy enough that we had friends come to help us.
We had 5 people.
We had 5 people working the booth, and they were slammed. And they got
That's pretty cool.
into such a good groove that we would come in to check on them, and they'd just like, "Can you guys go away? We're busy."
That's
Sorry.
really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was good.
And we get emails like when every time a card swiped, and it was fun to, open your email and you got 70 emails.
I had to turn them off
in the last hour.
I had to make a folder.
Dude, I'm proud of you guys, man. I mean, like I said, like I know, being Matt, just like getting to know you. I mean, obviously, what goes through, but man, like just getting to know you and like seeing kind of some of the work and just in that little group that we have on Instagram that kind of helps push each other's content out there, and like to see like some of your rhetoric behind the scenes, and like, dude, that's awesome, man. Like that's for me, like sitting here, I'm like, that's like inspiring, because it's like these guys, they got it figured out. Like they got that niche and they're crushing it, which is pretty cool.
A lot of companies too, like a lot of these pages we talk to, and they see that once they get to know us and they see how hard we work outside of, because people just look at an Instagram page and most of the time it's like they take a picture and they upload it with some hashtags. But like there's so much stuff that we do behind the scenes, and a lot of times when they realize how much work we put into the company Whiskey and Whitetails, a lot of times they disappear. They give up because they're like, well, geez, if they're working that hard and they're not multimillionaires, then why would I even try? And I hate that.
You mean like when I post a video and tag you and we have 19,000 views?
Is that what it's at?
Let's please talk about that for a minute.
19,200 views.
Yeah, let's talk about why. Why did we get 20,000 views? What is it? Because you're the one that took the video. So what is it?
So I was at my parents' house, like in the backyard. And I'm like, I was with my fiance. We were fishing a little bit, caught like a little brown trout. And my parents live in Northwest Indiana, about 7-8 minutes from the lake. So there's Coffee Creek runs in. There's some little spillways around. So every now and then you'll get salmon and trout that swim up. So I'm pitching a little mighty mite, and I catch a little brown. I'm like, oh shit, look at this. I'm like, all right. And she's having fun. She's catching fish. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go walk the woods a little bit, because there's always deer that run through there. So I'm like, let me act like I'm gonna, genuinely be walking the creek banks, and I'm looking for sheds because we've seen them down there over the years. And then I just took that video and I played a song that felt right, taking care of business. And then now we're at like 20,000 views of leaves in a creek bank.
It's just so wild.
People spend hours, days for a single piece of content and edit it and post it and don't get shit. And you literally on the fly are just check this out.
There, I scanned the creek bank. I like showed kind of where I was going. There's like a little deer trail. I posted up there. I invited you guys to collab on it, and I think I texted Matt and said, "Hey, watch this." And the next thing, and then we get the next week, we just text each other back and forth in the morning. 13,000 at night, 16,000, 18, and I'm like, it cracks me up because like I know how much time you guys put in to put like reels and stuff out there. And that's I literally stood in my backyard walking along a creek bank, found a catchy tune, taking care of business, which I did, and I slipped and fell on my ass shortly after I posted that video because I was thinking that I was 23, not 33, and thought I could jump, and I didn't. And
you weren't taking care of business right there.
I was not, but that's a little catchy song. And then I had people like, "Hey, I have people messaging, did you find any sheds that day?" I'm like, "Not really," but I'm like, "Wow, man, this is actually going like kind of viral." I'm like, all right. I mean, it didn't go to like 200,000 views, but it went to like 20,000 views in less than a week. And I'm like, dude, this is nuts.
It's more views than anything we've gotten before.
I know, you're like, no way. I'm like, dude, watch. And I keep like, and you see me, I keep sharing it on our story, Whiskey and Whitetails taking care of business today. Let's take them. I think I did one over the week. Let's make them famous. And I had people like, who are these guys? I'm like, oh, these are my buddies down, freaking down the Carolinas, freaking run a little podcast, drink some bourbon with me. We talk shit. We have a good time.
Yeah. That's what happens when you're famous.
No, I'm not.
Well, I mean, your page is. They probably don't know who Kyle's behind it, but like the page.
No,
because I've known Monster Whitetails for a long time. Like way before we were ever in a group chat together. I'm pretty sure my wife follows Monster Whitetails for years or a couple years maybe. How long have you been doing it?
couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, about right. There was and it's cool, man. It's just like, it's funny. Like, and I do like, it's almost like a litmus test, right? Because that page is 72,000 followers. And then like my buddy Matt and I, like, he's a lineman for our power company. Obviously me and medical sales, like we do like discount hunting. We do some stuff on the side. Like, so I'll interact with people on that page with 5,000 people, 6,000 followers. And then I'll interact with them with 72,000 followers. And it's funny the way people interact with you differently.
Oh, for
sure. You know
sure.
what I mean? And it's just like, and then I'm like, oh, by the way, this is Kyle from Monster Whitetails. They're like, oh, my bad, man. I meant to reply to you. I'm like, no, you didn't. It's okay. I'm not offended. It just goes to show me that, like, you know, and it's just that pay again. But like, even, you know, I know we've talked about the ebbs and flows. And it's funny. I'm sitting here and I got a deer in front of my trail camera that's still holding antlers right now. And I really kind of pisses me off.
You probably said that to us, that it was Kyle from Monster Whitetails from the discount hunting page.
Well, no, I mean, I just like wanted, I think we did, but it was after like I wanted you guys to know that I was the same guy.
Oh yeah, we were talking for a while, and then you were like, "Oh, by the way,"
I said, "Look at it, I got a deer right now, still holding bone on his head."
Wow,
like, come on, man, just let it go, dude. Just let it go.
That's why you can't find any.
No, yeah, the one I found was pure luck. And by the way, I got a bird on camera. I was going to text it to you today. I have a bird, a turkey on camera that will rival your beard.
Yeah.
Got him today. Oh yeah. If you put your beard on a turkey.
No, wow. That's thick.
That's a big beard.
Jeez.
That's your beard on a turkey.
Look at that.
Good Lord.
Look at that thing. The Indiana gobbler right there. Like, you were sitting there talking. I'm like, oh, it's funny. I meant to send this to you because I got a turkey that's got a beard like your beard.
I bet you that turkey's got more than one beard and they're just really close together. You ever seen
Matt have more?
No, he doesn't.
Double beard. He doesn't have more than one beard.
No, Matt doesn't. Some turkeys do though.
No, I've seen the double beards and stuff like that, but that he's thick.
Yeah.
I'm excited to. I'm going on my first turkey hunt this year. I've always avoided it. Kentucky. Why? It's like this beginning of the summer, and I just didn't. I don't want it's too hot, you know.
Yeah, I don't do well in heat either, but the turkeys are fun. Like it's like a different. I don't know. I mean, I've been out and watched them like charge 200 yards across the field, run right at your decoys and beat the shit out of it. And you're like, it kind of like takes you off guard. Like, that thing's not going to come all the way over here. And then like you hear your little clucking and purring and then sees your decoy and it's just right at you. And you're like, holy shit, this thing's coming right here. And then it's almost like, what do I do? Shoot it. But you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, you're kind of just in awe. Like, is that thing do what I think it's going to do? Like,
I've been told a bunch how much fun. I mean, everybody tells me how much fun turkey hunting is. Cause like, I like duck hunting, so it's kind of like, I know it's not, but it's kind of like that.
You need to go snow goose hunting. As you know, I just got back from that last week in Arkansas.
I want to get a blue.
You guys need to go do that like yesterday. That is, you hit the electronic caller, you got a couple hundred decoys out, and it's just when that flock of birds could be 100, could be 500, could be 1,000, and they commit and they dive in on you. I mean, I know, man, I was sending you photos. Like when they come in on you, holy shit, dude. It is like the coolest when they just bow up and they just start spinning over you.
Spinning, yeah, I've seen videos of that.
It is like, for mine, like we had like doubles and triples and quads come in, we'd dump them. It would be great. But our second night out, we had a group of about 300-400 birds, all turned, went north, came back, hit the wind and went south and all bowed in. And my buddy's like, let the first 50 land. I'm like, first fucking 50 land? Like, what do you mean? And these birds are just dumping in on us. And then you think like, oh yeah, I could just shoot and 10 birds will fall. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It's like sensory overload. You know what I mean? And he had the extended tube on his gun. So he was shooting 10 shells and I took the plug out of mine and it was just, you guys got to do that. Cause it is a fun hunt that you're just like, when it all comes together, it's insane.
You just shoot and shoot. That's all you're doing.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot and shoot. And I hit like I was shooting an SX3 and 4 rounds in. I was shooting 3.5s and shot it, and I John Wicked it after I unloaded my 4. Put one in the middle, hit the button, shot it back up, bing, 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 unloaded, bing, bing, bing. It was like John Wicked. It was the coolest thing. I mean, granted, my next 8 shots weren't hitting, but like it was so much fun. And you just sit and again, you're hanging out in a pit all day and watching. You guys ever been to Arkansas?
I've been to Arkansas. I never hunted there though.
I don't know that I've been. We drove through Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right?
People in Arkansas are good people, just good down home people, and it made you like that. There's like still like some of those core values that the three of us all like across the country. You know what I mean? It was just cool talking to some of the local people and some of their views and their thoughts on things. And it was just that was like hanging out in the pit with some of those guys. That was probably, I mean, and your dad and your buddies, but just talking to some of the locals, like that was the part you're like, yeah, this is cool.
Is it freezing cold?
No, it was like 65, 70 degrees.
Was it really?
South wind, blue skies. That's what they love because they hit that jet stream and they just fly north.
Mm-hmm.
They just ride it, huh?
Ride it. And then you hit that electronic collar, hit the flag a little bit, and you'll start, you know, when you see them coming from ways off, if a flock of 500 birds fly over, you might peel off 50. But those 50 will circle on you, and then all of a sudden they just, when they commit hard, and it's just shoot.
How'd you find a place to go to? Just somebody told you about
I have a buddy that's been going there for years, and we've, you know, like you guys have probably had friends over the years that you talk about doing this, doing that, and just something pop. Maybe it'd be kids, maybe work, or maybe just whatever. It doesn't happen. And he's like, hey man, let's just go. Oh my God, let's go. And my dad's, like I said, getting older, and you know the coolest thing in this 2021 and 22 is, I mean, my dad's my best friend. I know you probably got people that you're close with in your family, and you know, just doing some of those trips with your dad, like later in life, and you tell each other stories about each other that you didn't know he knew that he actually used to know in your whole life, and vice versa. And, you know, and like this fall, my dad and I know I told you we bought a farm, and my dad's lifelong goal was to own property. He was a high school teacher. And so we bought a 70-acre farm, and, you know, we were sitting there after Sunday hunt, drinking bourbon and eating One a Pizza, which is basically like a small town pizza chain. And he looked at me and said, son, he goes, I'm gonna tell you something. He goes, what? He goes, just remember one thing. He goes, deer season will be here every year. The only variable is us. Don't ever forget it. And I was like, what? You know what I mean? And ever since then, like, we talk about our hunts. I'm like, Dad, we can't plan a hunt like you guys. I can't plan a hunt fast enough. Like, Dad, we're gonna go do this. We're gonna go do this.
Yeah.
You know, you think your parents are, you know, superhuman, right? Like they're going to live forever, but you start to see them become mortal and become human as they get older, and their bodies kind of don't work the way they used to. And so, you know, like this hunt was one of those too, where you start to, you know, you see your parents slow down a little bit. Even your friends, you start to see your friends slow down a little bit. Like, dude, you used to be able to do this, now you can't.
Yeah, Gus has gray hair now.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple grays too. You know,
man.
Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't mean to get off on a tangent right there, but it's just one of those things where it's like that's why the Arkansas hunt was so fun, because you get to reconnect with people that mean a lot to you, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, connecting with people and spending time with family is super important. You know, like you said, it's they're not here forever, and the only seasons are going to continue to change, and they'll come around again. But the only thing that does change is us, right?
It's us, right? Yeah. And like when my dad put it something so simple like that, it was just like, I'm 33 years old, and I'm like, holy shit, I never looked at it that way.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, man. He goes, deer season's gonna be here this fall. You might not be here. I might not be here. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
Like, what do you mean? You know, and like, I don't know. It just makes you kind of think about things a little different.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The comment you made about talking to people in Arkansas and just, you know, finding that even in a completely different part of the country, there's people just like, I think if people had spent more time outside talking with people and connecting with neighbors and less time watching the news and looking at social media, I think we'd find that from coast to coast, we have a lot more in common with one another and are on a lot 100%. More the same page than the media would have us believe, except for California. California can right off.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and that's the thing is like people will talk to me like Monster Whitetails, right? I don't have a personal Facebook. I don't have a personal, I don't have anything. The only thing I have is LinkedIn. The only thing I have is LinkedIn for work, right? Because you always try to network, you know, professionally. But I tell people all the time, I was like, yeah, I run a ghost account. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, I run a ghost account. I mean, you know, I send you guys screenshots of, you know, everybody wants me to buy a Damascus knife or pay me $1,000 to like look at my feed. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, you know, go away. And I'm like, and people are like, you don't. I'm like, no, I don't have any personal social media.
$1,000 to look at your feet? You can give them my screen name. I'll give you my personal. I'll give you my personal account. I'll send people.
Yeah, whiskey and whitetails. Yeah,
Dude,
we are for hire.
100%.
You want a picture of my feet?
All day.
Look, if that gets me not working 9 to 5 and doing this full time,
dude, you can take a picture of a lot of my body.
I'll spend 2 hours a day taking pictures of my feet. I don't give a shit.
Some of those, like the one guy's like, I want to send you. I'm like, dude, I think I sent it to the group. The guy's like, I like to send. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, some of that stuff you just kind of shake your head at.
The internet's wild.
Gus, which one you drinking on now, dude?
I poured another one of this. I did.
Hey, I'm converting them.
And it smells completely different now.
Does it?
Yep. Of course, this is we're playing into our own trick that we do for blind tastes, where we put something. That's something we should do is take something like this and put it twice in a blind at a tasting.
Yeah.
Put it at the beginning and then later, and just to see what people's to prove our point. You know,
four glasses at a tasting.
Like I said, I can get more of it. That was the last one. I was like, ooh,
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to be this. We're just as an example. Like when we do blind for our classes or our experience, we like to play with people's palates to drive the point home that you can, people's palate changes.
Everybody's always like, what are your classes like? And I'm like, they're not like whatever you think they are. Whatever you think of bourbon classes, that's not what we do. We do something completely different. But I do a lot of psychology in there just to see how far I can get. And we do a lot of them blind.
You'll pour me 4 glasses of Willet Pot Still Reserve and be like, here you go, man. I'll be like, hey, will it.
You would know.
Perfect class.
You really do like that stuff. That's not even a joke.
No, it's not a joke. I got a big 175 back there that I keep. I usually keep one full and then one that's open.
That's nuts. It's crazy.
You want to drink it?
No.
Oh, okay.
We did.
So Gus, what do you think of the old 55 now?
It's good. It's better than it was before I drank the other ones, and obviously the first bottle. I think this bottle will be even better about halfway down.
So what do you guys? What's your favorite of those 3? Both of you. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if I had to pick one out of the 3, it would be this one.
Sweet Rye.
Yeah, the Sweet Rye. It's just got a more complex.
The Sweet Rye tastes like it has like sugar in it almost. There's a lot of sweetness to that.
And they're all 3, distilled and bottled. They're distillers. That's what makes them cool.
I think I'd probably pick that one as well. But as far as uniqueness goes, the sweet corn, that might be the most unique bourbon I've ever had.
See, now did my dialogue with you leading up to that make sense?
Yeah, because you wouldn't tell me anything, and I was like, well, he's obviously something's going on here, so I'm not going to pry. So I didn't pry. You were
hey man,
because you wrote, you're either going to love it or you'll hate it. Totally unique flavor. Give it 2 glasses before you say no, and you underline no.
Yeah, I said before you say no. Like I said, now look at Gus. Gus is on a second glass.
Second glass.
It's
really good.
Freaking good.
Yeah, it's completely different. No,
I still have some right here. I've been waiting.
But that's not the second glass, Matt.
I mean, I could pour it into another glass.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
He said, Bob had a baby. It's a boy.
That was a great commercial.
You remember that commercial?
Mm-mm.
It's a Super Bowl commercial, right? And
it was a calling long distance. It was like back when you had to pay more money to call long distance.
Yeah.
And so they would call and they'd be like, you have a collect call from.
Hello?
Collect call for Mr. Bob. We had a baby. Eats a boy.
And he'd be like, Bob had a baby. Eats a boy. It was a Super Bowl commercial for something.
It was a Super Bowl commercial, but and he was like, please state your name. And he was like, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Bob had a baby. Eats a boy.
Yeah. And then they would they would deny the call. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And he's like, Bob had a baby.
Yeah.
It's a boy.
Who was that?
Sorry, wrong number.
Who's that, dear?
Bob, they had a baby. It's a boy.
Oh.
That's right. Yeah. So what's the future hold for Monster Whitetails? Keep telling people stories?
Keep telling people stories, man. I mean, we'll do some giveaways coming up. We got one with the guys from Trekking Outdoors.
Nice.
Yeah, they're guys up in Michigan, good dudes. We got one that we're going to roll out with them. And,
we had him on the podcast.
Yeah, good. Chris is a good guy. I mean, I don't know who all you have, but I know
Just
Chris is probably the best. Yeah, Chris is a good dude. So we got something rolling out with them. And I mean, again, like, it's funny, like you and I have talked about, like, and I've seen like in the conversation people talk about like monetizing. Like I get people that reach out to me on a regular basis about, like, I'll pay you. I'm like, dude, just let me post your stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
It's, it's just Instagram as a whole, as you and I both know, is our industry's kind of getting attacked a little bit.
Yeah, we're super shadow banned doing hunting and alcohol. Like, where everything we do is, I mean, nobody.
Yeah,
we'll get messages and people are like, "You must have really pissed off Instagram because I haven't seen anything you've posted in the past week." Like they don't see it in their algorithm. They have to actually look us up, Whiskey and Whitetails, and then go see it.
Even after we finished that call with that marketing team, they wrote up a proposal, and in the email they said we did not put information or estimated quotes or whatever for X, Y, and Z because your content it
won't go anywhere.
It's too on the fence to see success on those platforms.
Which blows my mind because I mean, you can always tell when I've had a couple on a Saturday because I'll start calling you out in my stories. Hey, well, you know what I mean? I'll post a bottle and call you out. I'm like, where are you guys at? Like, you know what I mean? It's just whatever, and it just takes off.
Well, Kyle, it's 10 o'clock on Saturday. I'm mowing the f***ing lawn. Give me a minute. Give me a second.
PM? I mean, it's like 9 a.m. my time. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably have my first one by then. But if I'm doing simple math. But no, I mean, like, Monster, I just keep trying to grow, man, and keep trying to just push it out there. I mean, it's fun. And like, again, like you get those people that tell you the story about their first deer. Like it's
cool.
You can feel their excitement. And then just, again, like if it wasn't for that, we probably wouldn't have met. We would have, but not like this. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I mean, just see what happens with it. Just keep pushing it out there. And
I enjoy reading the stories that you post. They're good.
I appreciate that.
If Monster Whitetails as a page and the stuff you do, especially the stuff for the younger kids and the generation, if those posts do anything to solidify and keep them interested in the outdoors and getting out from in front of a TV, then what you're doing is well worth it. Yeah.
You're changing lives, man. You're getting kids off the couch.
The one kid I wrote about, like he like literally told me a story. I forgot his name, but he's like, man, he goes, and I said, so how'd you get into hunting? He goes, honestly, he's like, I got into hunting, so he's like, I could go read scripture in the stand. This kid's like 15 years old telling me, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. You know what I mean? I'm like, he's like, that's where he goes like to sit in a deer stand so he can like, I'm like, dude, that's so cool, man. Like, that's awesome. He's like, my grandfather told, like, I'm like, dude, that is awesome. You know, and like, it's just, it's fun. I mean, it's people always ask, like, you can tell when I'm busy because I don't post shit all morning. If I got a busy like surgery day or trauma day or whatever, I'm not posting shit till like 7 o'clock at night. But people are like, when do you post? I'm like, I'm usually like, if patient gets wheeled in the room and they're going to sleep, I'm usually typing something up. 9 times out of 10, I'll send it to whoever sent it to me. Hey, here's what I wrote up. They're like, holy cow, man, you got that from when I sent you? I'm like, yeah, you good with it? Cool. I'm posting it. And then I just post it and put my phone away and come back and edit my grammar later because they're like, hey, man, you misspelled like 3 words. I'm like, yeah, I was in a hurry.
Dude, I'm the worst. I'm the worst at it. I'll post something and then like this week's podcast, like I misspelled something several times, and then this morning when I posted, I was looking at it and I was like, oh boy, I had to go in it and change everything. But
see, the thing is, like, your guys' photos are cool though. Like, you guys get the cool lighting, cool everything, like the cool, like even the bottle or
it's
like
all him, man.
That, like, you had one, like I remember the Hard Truth. You had like a pistol in the background. I'm like, dude, I could not do that if I tried, And I'm like, I can't, like, when it comes to the creative side like that, not me. I'm a sales guy, right? So I can put words together and make it sound like it's flowing pretty well. But like I see some of the stuff you guys post, like even like your Weller Wednesdays or like Taylor Tuesday, and I'm like going, how the expletive these two guys come up with that? You know what I mean? And I could sit there and like you could send me a photo like that, but
we ask ourselves the same thing.
We don't know what we're doing either. It's just sometimes I go, hey, cool, that looks halfway decent. Let's put it online.
Let's put it on the internet. See what happens.
Yeah.
If you want 20,000 views on a reel, just go outside by a creek and walk a little bit.
See, I think I'm trying too hard. Like you're doing it. You're not even trying. You're just like, check this out, and then it takes off.
I just try and like be as, I guess you should like get a friend named Genuine, Kyle. Just be genuine. Just be like, hey man, like I'm just a normal guy like you. Like, hey, I'm walking by a creek, man. Let's see if I find something.
I think also people saw it and they were waiting for like a monster rack to appear. You know?
Yeah, and it never did.
That it never did. They're like, did I miss it? So they'd watch it again.
Did you have one? Could we have showed it? We could have probably like reposted, like remixed it, and been like, "Hey, look at Matt and Gus found a big rack because
it's got half a head on it, but
still has the skull attached and everything.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
He was super anxious to drop these sheds. He just lopped off the part of his.
Yep.
He's not going to grow next year, but he'll be all right.
No, yeah, he's not going to grow next year.
How do you guys like the new space, by the way? Do you
in here?
Yeah,
it works.
It's expensive for what it is, but you know,
it's such nicer than we were looking at. Originally, we were looking at storage units, and we were like an air conditioned storage unit. So it's way nicer than that.
That's our.
I mean, where do you guys see this in 5 years?
Oh.
Oh.
So there's things that
Matt, before Matt says anything, you have to take your second glass of the old 55 sweet corn, because as Gus will tell you, it's different, and it's not a sharp anymore. It's more of like a dry erase marker now.
The smell mellowed out. Yeah, more like a dry erase, not a full Sharpie.
Yeah.
I think this is just me, but I think that whiskey and whitetails, and I won't get into detail about what specifically we have planned for the next 5 years, because we do have some very specific plans that are going to take some time to execute. But I think that whiskey and whitetails could be as synonymous in the industries of whiskey and whitetails as names like Bone Collector and some of those other ones.
Yeah, say who's your biggest
different? Well, we don't have a competitor.
What we want to do, there is no competition,
and that's why I'm confident in saying that.
Yeah, what we're trying to do, there is not. There's nobody doing it. That's why we know we can do it, and we think that we're probably next year start moving into the phase of that, more or less. This year we're focused on marketing. We're going to do a bunch of marketing, spend money on advertising, and that's the focus for this year.
So our third business partner has a lot of business experience. He's multimillionaire, won't go all into it.
He doesn't give us any money, by the way.
It's basically, he's like, I'll give you my connections, my experience, and
his knowledge, like his brain. We have access to his brain.
My guidance and my knowledge. And
I mean, what else do you need? It's obviously sometimes worth more than money.
Right. It's exactly right.
Yep.
And he said, I only want this small percentage. And he said, it's my hope that in 3 to 5 years, you guys buy me out. And he said, I will toast to the day that you guys buy me out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So he's just a really good guy. He's like, all I want is to see you guys succeed.
And that's kind of been which is funny. Like when you talk about like the totally different scale, but when you talk about the monster whitetails and you hit people up from discount hunting and then you're like, oh, by the way, and they're like, oh
yeah.
Like the company we had before, just when we would meet people, I'd be like, oh, these are the guys from that company. It was always like,
okay. And
then now they don't, but I think like, cause the name Whiskey and Whitetails, it sounds old, sounds like it's been around a long time. And so people that don't even have no idea who we are, we'll be introduced as Matt or Gus from Whiskey and Whitetails, and they're like, "Oh, okay." They don't know who we are, but I think it's just the name.
Yeah, but
the name sounds correct, And
it's like, it's cool. You guys have created that, like, it's like the brand. You know what I mean? Like, people know when they buy your stuff, it's going to be well made, quality stuff. And you got, like, again, like at the Discord, and not everybody's on that, but like that little Patreon group, like you got the people. You've created this like culture, which is pretty cool. It's like an outsider, a guy from, again, Northwest Indiana. Like, it's neat to be a part of that subculture of who you guys are.
That's what keep getting told. Like, it's just cool to be part of it. Everybody's excited to watch it grow. And everybody's like, it's crazy how far you've come in a year. And like, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. But I think that's another thing that you were asking earlier about what drives us. And it's like the small bits of success that we've had along the way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really excited. I think it's fun. And I mean, I enjoy it. It's way better than, whatever I'd be doing if I wasn't doing this. Playing drunk kickball or something.
Yeah, I don't know. We started it in October of 2020.
Well, we formalized it.
Right.
It had been a thing for a long time. But
well, you know what I mean. Like, we decided we're going to make this like formal and we're going to do the thing.
File for trademark and all that.
And then we just kind of went ham that end of that year. Let's just see what we can do if we just go kind of balls to the wall with products and just see what happens. And then we're like, oh, there's something here. So what else, right? And then the podcast and then the other things that we have planned. And I think
the big part of the business that we haven't launched yet is I think it's going to do very well. And I'll tell you more about it because I think you would probably have a role at some point.
So
in what's coming.
Well, another thing to keep in mind is probably should save that comment. Remind me for
when we hang up,
I'm going to tell you something after this.
But that's fine. I'm not trying to put you on the.
No, we just don't want to.
There's just certain things we don't want to put.
We don't want to put out here yet.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
But yeah.
So Matt, what do you think of the second glass of the best juice, the most expensive juice on the table?
It is the most expensive juice on the table. It's it went down to the dry erase, and I think that the taste there's a lot more flavor to it now than there was before. And I think
you understand why I said the second glass before you say no. Underline.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Second glass, dude.
I think it's the I'm guessing my nose is used to the smell, so now my palate is more available. I'm guessing that's what happened.
If you guys poured that for your friends, do you think they would be like, you guys were the first sip? Like, what is this?
I'm
gasoline?
I'm going through friends that drink bourbon, and I think I know how all of them would react.
Really?
Like, I think the majority of them would be like, "Ew."
What about Kyle? Kentucky Chew Kyle. That's what I call him.
Kentucky Chew Kyle. He would like it.
Yeah, I think he would too.
And he was in that meeting today. I haven't seen him in a long time, but yeah, I know he will. He gets real nerdy about it. He's like we called him our Stig. Like if we have like a bourbon, he's like the guy that comes in and he's like he gets down and lets you know everything you're gonna ever want to know about it as far as it tastes and smell. I think he would really like that.
He's fun to watch taste stuff. He looks at the glass like real intently. And he does the Kentucky Chew, and it's it's fun.
So what about? So you guys have gotten to try some 3 different distilleries now from India. What do you guys got coming out by you?
To be honest,
distillery-wise, anything?
It's kind of disappointing here.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I'm gonna send you some stuff that I do like, but I don't give Charleston a very fair shake because most of South Carolina sucks. Most of the small distilleries here are just not good. And then Firefly, a lot of people get excited about that, but their distillate is mash bill 1 or 2. I can't remember which. I think it's 1 from Buffalo Trace. They get it from Buffalo Trace. They distill it again here. That way it's distilled in South Carolina. And so, I mean, it tastes like Buffalo Trace, but sugary, I guess, more sweeter. The heat here does something different to it that it doesn't do in Kentucky. Yeah. But outside of that, most of the distilleries here don't have anything super aged. It's all like 1 or 2-year-old whiskey, or they'll make a bourbon that's 2 years old and it's just not good. It's in my opinion, or everything's soaked in sugar. There's a lot of like Virgil Cane. A lot of people like Virgil Cane, and they have a bourbon. It's okay. But like their ginger infused bourbon, it's a whiskey, but that one's really good.
It's good for cocktails.
But I mean, there's ginger in it.
It's syrupy.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
Yeah. Everything down here, they just put syrup in it. Like I posted in the group chat the other day, the guy that was like, when they're like, what are you drinking tonight? And he was like, peach crown on the ice, or no ice, no mixers. And it's like, okay, buddy, peach crown. But that's the way the South is. Like the South, a lot of people like that sugary stuff. Like Old Camp.
You know what we should do is you talk about a event. So Indiana is also home to one of the largest distilleries in the world, MGP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Lawrenceburg. So if my geography is correct, I hope my old high school geography teacher never sees this. You're probably about 45-minute drive maybe from Brown County to Lawrenceburg. So you can go from Hard Truth and boom, boom, boom. So that'd be cool.
To hit both?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they do tours at MGP. Right? I mean, I don't know. I've never
been either.
Right?
It's got to be a massive plant.
Well, it's huge.
Yeah.
Everything is distilled there. Everything.
Yep.
And then we can go to Brown County and hang out over there and drink some Hard Truth.
I'd be down for that. A lot of my favorite whiskey is from MGP.
MGP juice. Yeah.
Yeah. People like to knock it like there's some kind of purist.
It's just MGP. You're like,
okay.
Most stuff is.
Right. There's a lot of shit that happens after that comes off that still.
Yeah.
The stuff I did send you was all distilled and bottled at their prospective distilleries too.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for this, I don't know if the Stellum was. You haven't cracked that one yet, have you?
No. Or the Whiskey Tango. I haven't opened that yet either.
Oh, so the Hotel Tango. So Hotel Tango is a place that we plan our Indiana weekend together. I got to take you guys there because they are a veteran-owned distillery. I don't know if you did any research on them.
Yeah, I did.
They are really cool, kind of veteran-owned, veteran-employed. Like, it's pretty cool. That's a young... Yeah.
This is a Vega.
Different.
Oh, weird.
Different barrel.
Okay.
Yeah, because we did not like the regular one.
That's why. Okay, that's why I tried to.
But
this
one's plenty of it.
Yeah, this one's higher proof too. The one you sent, but it's a single barrel, so it's
Yeah, but you'll like the Hotel Tango is just a cool how they like got their start and like everything they do. I mean, they're veteran owned, try and play veterans, like get them. It's pretty neat. And they do a lot of cool stuff, and their bottles are cool as hell.
Yeah, I like the bottle. The label's really cool, and I'm sure if we go there, I'll get along with them just fine. But I like this side up, this side to pour. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see,
it's cool.
Yeah, it's a nifty bottle.
Hotel Tango.
It actually looks like a military ration
another
or something.
That's kind of what they modeled after. So it's another Indiana distillery. That's a younger one. I mean, I think it's only 2 or 3 year, but their stuff's pretty good overall. I mean, most of their pours, you're like, oh yeah, these guys are doing good quality.
It's funny.
It's 2 years, yeah.
This side up to pour or to store. This side.
This side facing, right? Isn't that what they used to say on the old Claymores?
Yeah.
This side face out. Yeah.
This side towards enemy.
Towards
enemy.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to try that one too. I'm probably gonna pop that one this weekend. I brought all this stuff over here because we were supposed to do this last week, and then I left it here, so I didn't have anything.
That's why I kept texting you like, oh, you meant like the best was. I was like, so you tried it yet? You mean like since you asked me 7 hours ago? No, I haven't tried it yet.
You asked me
like, dude, you got to try it.
9 in the morning, and then you asked me at like 4 p.m.
I just get excited. I get distracted with work.
That's all good. I understand the feeling.
Like, well, we got. I think one of you guys brought it up, but the thing that's kind of, I don't know. Someone like you talked about the purists, right? But so many of these I'm looking at my wall. So many of them now are all these aged in Chardonnay barrels, Cabernet barrels, Armagnac barrels. I'm like, just let it age in.
It's getting lazy. Like, I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, like they're doing all these things to speed up aging, and what's one thing we all know? You can't cheat Father Time. Like, let it do its thing. Like,
the other thing too is it takes many months to impart. Like if you put it in a sherry barrel, months, like 11 of them before you kind of start to get some taste. But you'll see people that finish for like a month. It's finished in a Armagnac barrel or whatever, and then you're like, man, this tastes like port or whatever. They put flavoring in it. There's no way you cannot get the flavor that fast. It's just, or there's still a ton of sherry. You know, they left like a gallon of sherry in the bottom.
Like they poured the sherry out and then immediately poured while it was still wet. It's still
there's still like an inch or two in the bottom of it. I'm telling you, they have to be doing that because there's no way you would get that much.
You think so?
They have to. There's no way you would get that much flavor in a month. It's just not. It's just not possible. I mean, think about it. If you take whiskey and put it in a barrel for a month.
Oh yeah.
What's it gonna do?
Well, it's funny you say that. Like I usually send you bottle porn when I go down to my guy's liquor shop and his liquor store, and we had 4 different light whiskeys, and I never had one was like a 14-year light whiskey, and I'm like, so what's the difference? He's like, these bottles are aged in barrels that have already been used. And he's like, look at this. This is a 14-year. Held it up. It's like, this is a 7-year. And the 7-year was 10 times darker than the 14-year. And I was totally I'm like, I didn't know like the difference. And you taste it and you're like, you get the initial and then it falls flat.
Yep.
And you're like, oh man, like, so it's a 14-year on label, but it's probably only a 7 or 8 year, but they're going to sell it like a 14-year.
Of course.
I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, that sucks.
That's probably like a 10-year, 12-year, 15-year bourbon because it has to be in a brand new charred oak barrel. That's why they have so much flavor because the insides are just straight char, but you can't re-char them really unless you start knocking lids and hoops and then.
Yep.
But if you can find one that has like a level 4 alligator char, And then the lids are also level 3 or 4, just full on dark. Because a lot of times the lids are toasted or level 1 or 2. Most of the lids that we get are not.
They're not.
They're not charred.
Barely.
They're not level 4s anywhere near.
Yeah.
But yeah, that adds a lot of flavor. And then when they take those, and that's another reason that Irish whiskey or Scotch, 17, 18 years, and it doesn't, there's like no wood tannin to it at all. It's because it's been sitting in a cold climate in a used barrel. All the char is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they were talking about. Some of those scotches, you get 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And you put them next to a 15-year whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like that 15 years is going to dominate.
Yeah, dude,
like,
I've looked at white wine that's darker than some of those older scotches. They're just
shit, really?
Well, they're just so light and they just don't, especially the younger ones. But yeah, that's.
Well, like that, the is it a Calumet, the 15?
Yeah, Calumet Farms 15.
Yeah, that's a dark, really dark whiskey or bourbon. And that's what it would look like if something was 15 years in a barrel that was freshly charred. Just all that oak or all that charcoal that gets in there.
Yeah.
And even some of the gimmicks too. You got these places now that, I got one because it was a store pick with that Oak and Eden where they're putting a barrel stage.
Yeah. That'll go bad. It'll get over aged really quick.
Really?
And that's something they didn't think about. Yeah, we have one right here. But that spire inside of it, if you don't drink this and just let it sit on a shelf, it'll keep aging and it'll keep getting drier and drier and drier until it's disgusting. And like this one's bad. This one's really nasty.
The only reason this is still here is because we had something that was up against it in our end of year, basically worst of. And believe it or not, there was another whiskey that was worse than this one.
Yeah.
You know what it was?
Saved.
It's pot still. No, I'm kidding. It was, I think it was this.
All right, hey guys, it's been a great night.
I think it was that Japanese shit.
The Galong.
Yeah, I don't remember, but.
You're still invited to hunt Indiana Gus. You can sit in Michigan for
all right. Hey, there's some big whitetails in Michigan.
Yeah, if you find them. No, I'm messing with you. But no, it's funny though. Like again, and honestly, like the craziest thing for me is like the allocation difference. I mean, I know Gus, I don't have your number, but like, man, I got to text you. I'm like, hey man, here's everything I got. And you're like, how? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. We just get it in Indiana. And it's just like, it's crazy what we get versus what you get.
I think it's because it's just closer. It's easier to just hop it over the line. We're like
and I'm an hour southeast. I'm 45 minutes southeast of Chicago.
Yeah.
So it goes to Indy up and then Chicago market comes out our way too.
The other thing here is like if it has Weller on it or it's made by Buffalo Trace at all, it will never see a store shelf. It goes straight in the back, and then it's done for allocation day, or the liquor store owner calls his friends and his friends come and buy it. It's like it never hits the shelf. It just doesn't happen.
Interesting. Like
you'll never go into a store in South Carolina and find Weller on the shelf unless it's 4 times the price. Like you'll find
that. Not even special reserve.
No. Nope. I brought special reserve to a party because it's like $27 or something, but I had to use points to get it. There's 500 store points, which was almost $250 worth of spending to get that 500 points. But I wanted something, different.
What was what the first bottle I sent you was? Do you remember? I do.
No. I will know.
Antique 107.
That's right. It was. Yeah.
Was. Because you're like, dude, that's my jam. I'm like, dude, really? My guy's got like 8 of them.
It's my jam. One? Yeah. That's right. It was. It's gone. That bottle's long gone.
Kept trying to find the old bakers. And
I got plenty of those.
Do you?
I'll take some. I'll buy 107 almost any day, especially for MSRP.
Wow. You know my philosophy. I trade. I don't accept it. Deny.
What kind of motor oil does your car use? I'll trade you some.
I got pot still reserved, dude. I don't need motor oil.
That's true. I can trade you some pot still. Oh yeah, you said that I'd be able to drive to work on this bottle.
Do you agree? Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. It's tough. It's good. I like it a lot more than I did the first sip.
Gus, what about you? What's your go-to? If you had to pick one bottle, what's your...
Oh, man, we get asked this all the time.
Do something nice. Your go-to nice bottle.
My go-to nice bottle?
Go-to nice bottle.
I don't know, man. Antique 107 is up there with them for sure. George T. Stagg. but I just like it's just my personality, I guess. Like I just don't gravitate towards those expensive bottles that much.
Yeah, I don't either.
I
drink Wild Turkey 101. That's the main thing I drink.
Like I'm a Evan Williams bottled and bond or single barrel. I like those a lot, but yeah, I don't know.
What do you guys think of Masters Keep this year?
It's okay. If it was a Russell's pick, I would be driving to everyone I know's house and be like, you have to try this Russell store pick. It is so good. But because it's Masters Keep, it was okay.
Yeah.
Have you had it?
I'm looking at mine on the shelf right now and I'm like, oh yeah.
Have you tried it?
Wild Turkey. I'm like, no, it's sitting in the box.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there because it's one of those things where it's like, I got 300 bottles on the wall. My buddies know, like, you can come over and have whatever you want. If you're going to come over and just have a little pregame before you go out, pick whatever you want to sit and drink, and I'll cook some food, whatever. We'll just, start pulling bottles out, and it's funny. Like, I pulled some stuff out one night for my buddy, and we had like Blanton's Gold and Weller 12 and like Michter's 10-year rye and 10-year Burt. Like, I poured everything out, and we had like 10 of them out there, and he goes, dude, that Blanton's Gold's not even in my top 7. I go, I know. Yeah. But it's a gimmicky. I mean, like, I have it just because they have it. But I'm like, it's one thing you have on the shelf. People are like, oh my goodness. But I'm like, I don't know. I have one friend that thinks it's like the bee's knees. I'm like, dude, I have unopened Blantons. Just take them. Like, I don't.
There's a liquor store here that did, last weekend they did. I don't remember the 3 bottles, but one of them was Blanton's. It was like I don't remember. And, they did it blind. So if you walked into the store, but it was like 130 people they did it. So they went through several bottles. And at the end of the day, Blanton's was 3rd. It was in 3rd place. And the other 2 were just like regular. I think one was Jack Daniels. I don't remember. They were just regular ass bottles, nothing special.
Yeah. Well, it's like Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace. If you've ever been to Buffalo Trace, it's the exact same mash bill going in the bottle. The only difference is where they're aged. And how long? One's 7 to 10, one's 10 plus. So these are these 2 floors. These are these 2 floors. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no difference, And people like their jam is Eagle Rare, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Wild Turkey and Old Forester. Those are my jams. That's what I like. All right, dude. I'm gonna go home and make dinner.
Yeah, I didn't mean to keep you guys going.
No, you're good, dude.
No, man, this is great.
Hour and 40 minutes. Hope you guys got a little out of me that you wanted.
Yeah, this is good, man.
Oh, good conversation.
Yep.
And we got to try all these whiskeys, which I'm going to take home and continue to try.
Yeah, I can't stop now.
Yeah. I'll get a headache if I stop now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say some more when we get offline, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's close it out because I got to tell you something anyway.
Yeah. I want to finish my comment from earlier, so.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a great
Thanks, guys.
day.
See ya.